One of the gents that you use as an example in your book is Jack LaLanne, who exemplifies what we need to do to be productive and move things forward. So I'm curious, what about Jack LaLanne, this fitness guru, about how he stays focused and getting the right things done? Talk to us about what he exemplifies for you in the area of productivity.
He's an interesting figure because he knows a lot. He was more accomplished with exercise and publicizing exercise, and he had the sort of longest running TV show, I think, of all time. But what was most impressive to me wasn't what he knew, was the simplicity of his rituals. So he had very specific rituals. Every single morning he would wake up. He would do an hour of exercise or an hour and a half of exercise. He had certain days that he would do weights. He had certain days when he would do aerobic. And he maintained this ritual till he died in his late 90s. And it was the simplicity of it is we could do all of this research about the best, most effective, exercises to do. We could look at, new modern equipment. We could, buy bands or ab things or whatever we're going to buy from infomercials. But in the end, the thing that's going to determine whether we actually get something done are the rituals that we create around those things. And if you know that there's a ritual, I meditate. I meditate every morning and every night. And I know that no matter what happens, I slide out of bed onto my cushion. By the way, my cushion is right by my bed, because if my cushion was in another room, I wouldn't do it, right? But my meditation cushion literally is leaning against my bed. I literally slide out of bed onto my meditation cushion and I sit for 20 minutes. And I know that I do this every single morning. If I had to make a decision about whether to do it each morning, I'm telling you I wouldn't do it. Right? I would sit there and I'd come up with some really valid, really, really good reasons why I need to do something else, like check email, right? But I don't, because I don't give myself the chance to come up with those reasons. I know that my ritual is every morning I slide out of bed, I sit on my meditation cushion, I set a timer for 20 minutes, and I do nothing but breathe. If we create rituals and structure our days with rituals in them, then those become automatic movements that allow us to get done the things that we want to get done.
Excellent. So I want to talk about the Find Me button for your life that you start off with in your book. Explain what it is and the role that it plays in getting us back on track to find focus.
I recognize this idea of the Find Me button with when I was on Google Maps, and I was on Google Maps with on my iPhone, and I pressed the button for Google Maps, and it landed me in Savannah, Georgia, where I had last been when I was using Google Maps. So I had to press that Find Me button. It's either the little bullseye that you see, or sometimes now it's a little location button, but oftentimes a little bullseye. And I pressed it, and it raised me up, and it gave me this 30,000-foot view. It drew me out of Savannah into the air like a rocket ship, brought me up into the atmosphere until I saw a spinning world. Then it brought me over a little bit to New York, where I was, and then brought me back down. And I think we do so much traveling in our lives, both literally but also figuratively. We move in so many different directions that we lose sight of what's important to us. If I think about how clear I was when I was in college about what's important to me related to relationships, what's important to me related to work, what's important to me related to my identity, and then I move 20 years out, it's very easy to get lost in that stuff. And also it changes, right? I'm not the same as I was in college, but it's very easy to kind of get lost in the day-to-day activity that tends to stand in for meaning. And what we need to do is get back to meaning. We need to get back to what's most important to us, what we care most about, what moves us emotionally, what moves us spiritually, what moves us psychologically and intellectually. And so what you have to do is, and by the way, we're often not that far away from our center, but we are somewhat away from our center. And what you have to do is figuratively press that Find Me button, shoot up 30,000 feet, slow down for a minute, and ask the question of who am I and what's important to me? How should I operate? And then descend back to a place that's probably not that far from where you were, but fits a lot better. It's like It's like, if you've gained weight year after year and you're still wearing ill-fitting clothing, or if you lose weight and you're still wearing ill-fitting clothing, you have to shift a little bit the things around you so that you're actually fitting in your life. And that's what the Find Me button is.